Hey, good morning. It's me, ｃｈច្ចဋ္ဌြຈ̌, your host of the party, and today is Friday, August 30th, 2024, and I can't believe it. It is the end of summer. We got Labor Day weekend here. We're coming into the last quarter of the year, September. It's Halloween, it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's the New Year. It's just unbelievable how quick this year has gone by, but it is what it is. In any event, here we go, because here are the things that you need to know. So like I said, yes, Labor Day weekend is here. And it's a beautiful day here in South Florida. It's going to be a beautiful day, but kind of a rainy weekend. Now, yesterday, stocks brushed off any of the NVIDIA negatives. Not in my mind that there were any at all. Oil rallied on unrest in Libya. Gold and bonds are holding steady. And what do we have at dinner tonight? Well, we're having the mac and cheese. It is a perfect weekend and barbecue dish. Now look, like I said, it's Friday, August 30th, the final day of trading for the month, and while it's not the end of the quarter, you can expect some month-end window dressing. Not much, but some. Nothing to get all worked up about, but just so you know as you see kind of the volumes react. Okay, now, NVIDIA who? Because that's what it felt like, right? The disaster, the selling in the broader market that was supposed to happen never happened. And while I, like many, think the recent earnings report was just fine, there were some of those that just were not happy. They're just never happy. They're looking for the negatives, hitting the sell button to try to make their point. By the end of the day, yesterday, I mean, it rallied all around, but NVIDIA lost 6.4%. And if you add in the 2.4% loss from Wednesday pre the announcement, you get close to that 10% move that the options market was suggesting. Funny how that works, isn't it? In any event, while NVIDIA did blow the doors off the house, there are some cost and production issues that they need to deal with. But in the end, the fact is that demand for these chips is off the charts. Period. The end. Yesterday, I was on with Fox News, Fox Business with ｃｈច្ចဋ္ဌြຈ̌ on making money, and she asked me about investors who want to get involved in NVIDIA now. How do they do it if they're just starting out? How are they going to get in? Well, in that case, it's always slow and steady, right? It wins the race. You got to start by just dipping your toes in the water, and then you watch it, right? You add more as it trades over the coming weeks and months, right? You're using dollar cost averaging to get yourself into the position. Remember, long-term investing is a marathon. It is not a sprint. You can find the video on my Twitter at ｃｈច្ចဋ္ဌြကြ̌. I posted it this morning. Now, for me, NVIDIA is like Apple or IBM or Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Amazon, etc. All those big names. You kind of buy it and you hold it, period. Right? NVIDIA is and will continue to be a game changer. At the end of the day, the Dow added 245 points, or 0.6%. NVIDIA is not a Dow stock. The S&P ended the day flat. The NASDAQ lost 40 points. Now NVIDIA is in both of those indexes. The Russell added 15 points, no NVIDIA. The transport's up 2 points, no NVIDIA. And the equal-weighted S&P was up 27 points. And there, while NVIDIA is in that index, it is the equal-weighted feature that took the sting out of any NVIDIA weakness. So for those just starting out and you want to get in, yesterday or today is a good time to get going. The stock is off 8% from its most recent high, and it's down 16% or so off the June high of 140. It's trading at 119. Like I said, you want to dip your toes in. Don't go all in on the first day. Allocate X while you build up the position to reflect the percentage that you ultimately want in your portfolio. But that depends on age and risk and all that stuff. Remember, that means you have to take into account your risk profile, right? What is your age? How much time are we talking about? Because that makes a difference, right? Time is very important here. Now, EcoData yesterday revealed that GDP was revised upwards, suggesting an even stronger U.S. economy, coming in at up 3%. That was up from 2.8%. Personal consumption was also stronger at up 2.9% versus the expected plus 2.2%. Retail inventories rose by 0.8% versus the expected 0.5%, which means there's more inventory that needs to go, which means get ready for sales, because either retail has misjudged demand, or demand is slowing, or preferences are changing. But in any case, if this stuff doesn't get sold at the regular prices, it's going to get sold at TJ Maxx and Ross Stores and Burlington Industries, right? It's going to get marked down and it goes off the shelves. Now, the bigger number yesterday was the pending home sales, and they plunged month over month, falling 5.5% versus the expectation of a rise of 0.2%, while pending sales year over year plummeted by 4.6% versus the expected decline of 2%. Now, you could assume that that's a positive argument for cutting rates, right? Eco data today includes personal income, personal spending. But the big number today is going to be the Fed's favorite inflation gauge, the PCE report, which is personal consumption expenditures. It measures the average changes in the price of goods and services over time. It is a key indicator used by the Fed to track inflation. And like I said yesterday, it is expected to be up by 0.1% over last month's read. Nothing really to worry about. It's not going to change the narrative at all, unless, of course, it surprises significantly beyond that to the upside, which is not happening. Oil rose by 2% yesterday after being kind of under pressure the last couple of days. This after testing long-term support at 75.88. News of unrest in Libya being cited as one of the reasons for yesterday's gains. The country's output was slashed by 500,000 barrels per day. All the export terminals on the eastern part of the country were closed amid an internal fight for control of the country's central bank. The fear is that the cut could swell to maybe 1 million barrels per day, which is like 1% of total global demand. This morning, oil is trading at $76.10, with support at $75.90 and resistance at $77.10, so it's kind of right in the middle. Gold continues to do nothing. It's just churning in place at 25.57-ish. Gold has been in this very, very tight range for 3 weeks now as it kisses this new high. Remember, lower rates are going to help support gold. And new inflation expectations that will result from either party is also going to see a flight into safety, and that's going to be more into gold. U.S. futures this morning are up. Dow futures up 62. Dow's making new highs. The S&P is up 21. The Nasdaq's up 122. NVIDIA is quoted up $2 at this point at 119.5, 120, while the Russell's up 10 points. European markets are also higher, up about 0.5% across the board, as they too are making record highs, all on the idea of lower rates and moderating inflation, not only across Europe, but really across the globe. Again, it is the final day of August. Summer is coming to an end. Volumes are going to remain subdued. It's a long weekend. Go and enjoy yourself. The S&P closed at 55.91, just down less than a point. The 8:30 announcement is about it for the day. Once it's out, it's bye-bye for anyone who's left, right? We're going to have to wait until next week, after Labor Day, to get more of a sense of how investors are shaping up going into the next Fed meeting and then the presidential election, which is now only weeks away. Expect to hear all kinds of commentary about last night's CNN taped and scripted and edited interview with Kamala and Timmy. She says that her values have not changed. That's all you need to know. Her values have not changed. In the end, it's important to always take, remember, a balanced approach to long-term investing. Building a strong, well-diversified portfolio takes time. Give me a call to discuss, because I'm always happy to do it. In fact, you can reach out to me just through the website or get me on Twitter. Look me up, you'll get my email. Anyway, so what do we have for dinner tonight, or for the weekend? It's not your kids' mac and cheese, right? So this long holiday weekend, you want to serve up some comfort food, something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. And what's better than a big plate of mac and cheese? Now, for this, you're going to need 2 cups of whole milk. You're going to need water. You're going to need a pound of elbow macaroni, 8 ounces of shredded American cheese, butter. You need a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. You need 7 ounces of shredded Gruyere cheese. You need 2/3 a cup of breadcrumbs, olive oil, salt and pepper, and freshly grated Parmigiano cheese. Now you want to turn your oven to broil so that it's just ready for you when you need it. You're going to bring 3.5 cups of salted water to a rolling boil. You're going to add the milk, and then you're going to add the macaroni and reduce the heat to medium-low and cook it for about 6 minutes, right, till about al dente. You don't want mushy pasta. The pasta at this point should soak up all the water and the milk that's in there. If it doesn't, then you use too much, you can just strain a little bit out, right? When it's cooked, after the 6 or 7 minutes, you're going to add the shredded American cheese and the mustard. You're going to stir it until the cheese melts. It'll take you about a minute or so, right? Then you're going to take it off the heat, and now you're going to add the shredded Gruyere cheese. You're going to mix it. You're going to distribute it all around, and then you're going to take that whole thing and put it in a buttered Pyrex baking dish. In the meantime, you're going to add breadcrumbs, a handful of breadcrumbs to the frying pan, and with a dollop of butter. You're going to cook those over medium heat until the butter all melts and the breadcrumbs are nice and buttery. Remove it from the heat and add the fresh grated Parmigiana cheese to those breadcrumbs. And now you're going to spread those breadcrumbs over the top of the mac and cheese, and you're going to place it under the broiler in the middle rack, just long enough to toast the breadcrumbs, right? Then you're going to remove it, let it sit for a minute because it's going to be hot, and you're going to serve it. Yum. It is so good. And it'll go really well with a barbecue. If you're having a barbecue this weekend, it'll go well with the steak, with the chicken. It's just another side. But you'll sure to enjoy it. And once you make it, you'll make it over and over again because it's such a great comfort food. In any event, it is a spectacular day here in South Florida. Look at that sky. It is just beautiful. Until Tuesday, take good care.